Hello, everyone. Bilal Malas here, Head of Client Success at Lux Sales Consulting. Today, I'm joined with Kassim, who is a investment advisor and life insurance advisor from New York Life and also Eagle Strategies, who's the investment advisory firm out of New York Life. And Kassim has joined us about 5 months ago and started working with our SLS framework to install the process to meet new ideal clients. And we've been working really hard together, and we've finally kind of got everything up and running. A couple months. I mean, halfway through, and then obviously right now his pipeline is built up, and he's meeting today. He has 4 client appointments, and he's added so far about $7,000 in new commissions from clients from our strategy, and that's completely from the cold market. And we're going to talk about all that journey and how all that went. So, Kassim, if you can just please introduce yourself, where you're from specifically, and also what you specialize in and what your value statement is all about.
Kassim Karani, I am from Anchorage, Alaska, so relatively small market up here. And where I will sit in my investment advising, so most of what I do is helping people position their retirement planning, whether it's moving 401ks from an old job or whatever the case may be, but also is to work with entrepreneurs, mostly within the restaurant space, in utilizing financial tools to advance their business. So prior to joining with SLS, I think like most people, it was not just, it was initial market, so people who already knew me, and then referrals, which is not a bad way to do it, but it's a very slow burn with a lot of activity in for whatever return you get. Met with you guys and started saying, okay, well, let's give this a shot. And the refinement within SLS has been what I've been most impressed with. It does take a little bit to learn, but the coaching that we've gotten and been able to really start refining in the last couple months, or really the last few weeks, has really started to take off, doing the baseline work. But like you just said, I have 4 appointments today. I've got 2 tomorrow, and then a couple of next week that have already been booked. And actually, I'm getting a Calendly email as we speak. So it's starting to really take off and really start to resonate with people. And the beauty of it is these people only know me as a financial professional. So, it's stated a little bit of a colder market. I don't know about that. They only know you as a financial professional. That's how you presented yourself. That's how they know you. And it makes for a more productive conversation.
Right. Yeah. It's not, they're not expecting to have a coffee chat, that you don't need to become their friends or buy them a bottle of wine or invite them to an event first, or anything of the sort. They know what you're, and then more importantly, since you're positioning yourself as a specialist, you can just get right into the conversation. And I just wanted to also, like, before joining us, right, out of Anchorage, Alaska, right?
Right.
What kind of frustrations were you faced with as a financial service professional, only relying on referrals? How did you feel before using, other prospecting strategies like the ones we recommend in the SLS framework mastermind?
So before, the biggest challenge was one, especially within a smaller market like Alaska, they've already talked to some other agent. Oh, well, I'm dealing with so and so, or it's hard to get that foot in the front door to talk about how you're different or what you can offer. And so that was one challenge. And to me, the other challenge, and maybe me specifically because I grew up here, is that I would just get, wait, aren't you the restaurant guy? Because that's what I did for 20 years, was I was in restaurants. Well, aren't you the restaurant guy? Well, I was. Now I'm doing, and that, so they had a hard time letting go of seeing me as the restaurant guy and seeing me as the investment advisor.
Right. So part of what you had to do is rebrand yourself. And I think the way you were able to do it is on LinkedIn and kind of having your value statement up and, up front. And you were able to kind of, so how did that feel after? Like, what kind of conversations were you having? Kind of how for example, like the discovery calls that you had last week, or maybe today that you already had some, like how are those going, and like how does that feel to have that in place where, people kind of right from the get-go, they talk about, financial planning with you.
Like I said, it does make the conversation a lot easier and a lot smoother, because they do take a look at, as much as I didn't think people did, people really do take a look at your profile and really do read it. My one this morning, it was very interesting. It was a gentleman out of Texas that just moved from Alaska down to Texas, and got on the phone, and we were chatting, and he goes, I was looking at your profile and I remember you from Pizza Hut, and thinking this, that, and the other, because that's one of the places I was working at before. And he goes, yeah, and I remember you doing a really good job. I'm excited to see how we're doing with. So it allows you to build off of that good faith. But then he started asking me very specific questions. Well, within my business that I'm building, I see that you help with this, this, and this. Talk to me about that. And so now the client is engaging you in what you do, as opposed to you trying to sell them on the value of it.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And that's how you're able to build the value, is from, the fact that you put in so much work in your LinkedIn profile, and the fact that they can relate to, as much stuff that you can have commonality with. The fact that you're from Alaska, he used to be from Alaska, he can recognize some of the name that you put on there on your LinkedIn profile, which is amazing. Kassim, thanks for sharing so far. And then what would you say to an advisor, an investment advisor, or a life insurance advisor out there looking to invest into a marketing solution, into themselves, and to take their business to the next level, who's on the edge of doing so?
So that is a challenging question. But what I would tell anybody is, one, do your homework, and ask around people who have used it, because I've heard of a lot of these that are they don't have the support structure and the education behind it that I found here. So I was fortunate that was there. And the other part is, you got to ask yourself this big question: am I willing to invest a couple of months to refine a process to fill my pipeline going forward, so that I can stop spending the time filling the pipeline and more time actually helping people? And so long term, where do you want to spend your time? You've got to build a foundation. This is a fantastic way to build that foundation, so that you can help people, and at a much broader stroke than you can just asking your friend, hey, who are 4 people I should talk to?
Well, I'm sure you still do some of that when you get that opportunity, but you're not 100% relying on it anymore, which is amazing. So, Kassim, thank you for joining us. I wish you all the best moving forward, and I'm sure we're going to do some amazing results from there moving forward as well. So thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.